There's something rare about a question that hits the soul. It doesn't try to impress her. It doesn't try to flatter her. It simply cuts through the surface quietly, deeply. The right question doesn't need volume. It slips under her guard. It awakens the parts she's kept hidden, even from herself. See, most men speak just to be accepted. But the Stoic man, he speaks to leave a mark. He doesn't chase her interest. He creates space for her to feel him long after he's gone. And when you know how to ask not just what to say, you don't compete for her attention, you own a corner of her memory. In this video, you're going to learn 10 questions. Not tricks, not cheesy lines, but deep psychological catalysts. These questions don't work on the surface. They stir her emotional chemistry. They create an imprint if you have the strength to hold the silence that follows. Because when a man has the courage to ask something no one else ever dared to, she won't forget him. Not this year, not next year, maybe, not ever. Let's begin. Question number 1. What kind of man is unforgettable to you? Even if he wasn't good for you. This isn't just small talk. It's a key. Because what most men don't understand is that women don't always remember the safest man. They remember the one who stirred something deep, even if it was messy. When you ask this, you're doing two powerful things. First, you're guiding her back to a moment when logic failed and desire took over. Second, you're quietly placing yourself in the realm of men who leave an impact. This isn't a harmless question. It's a psychological trigger, because to answer it, she has to revisit the emotional imprint of someone who disrupted her balance. And if you're composed enough to hold space when she responds, you'll see her soften. Her tone will shift. Her eyes might wander, because you've moved her from her mind into her memory and into her body. This isn't about getting a reaction. This is about presence. The Stoic man knows he can't control her thoughts, but he can invite her to meet herself more honestly in his presence. You're not performing. You're reflecting. And women remember the man who sees their depth without trying to fix it. That's power. Not loud, not flashy, just real. And when she speaks, she'll be watching to see if you react, flinch, or try to impress. Don't. Just listen and hold it. That's what makes you different. If you're the kind of man who doesn't just speak, but leaves an echo in her mind, comment below. I speak with impact. Question number 2. What is the most dangerous thing someone has ever awakened in you? This isn't a playful question. It's not flirtation. It's a challenge, an invitation to speak what's been buried. Because every woman, no matter how composed, carries something wild beneath the surface. A fire, a storm, a part of her she doesn't show the world, not because it's fake, but because it's real. Most men never see that side. They don't make her feel safe enough to reveal it. But when you ask her this question calmly, without judgment, and without rushing, you create a doorway into her shadows. Why is it dangerous? Because danger isn't always harm. Sometimes it's the desire to lose control, the craving to be fully seen, fully wanted, without restraint. Sometimes it's the temptation to feel too much, too fast. And sometimes it's love that threatens everything she thought she knew. A Stoic man doesn't shy away from that. He meets her in that storm, not to rescue her, but to remain grounded in it. When she opens up, you don't flinch. You don't try to fix or soften it. You let her see you can hold it all without blinking. That's rare, and rare men don't chase. They attract. But here's the warning: Don't ask to provoke. Don't ask to impress. Ask because you're ready to see what most never do and not run. And if she pauses, let her. If she hesitates, hold space, because the right silence reveals more than 1,000 clever words. If you're that kind of man, comment below. I hold the fire. Question number 3. What signals does your body give when someone begins to attract you, but you don't want anyone to notice? This isn't a casual question. It goes deeper beyond words, beyond logic, because real attraction doesn't speak in full sentences. It whispers through muscle memory, through instinct, through reaction. When you ask a woman this, you're not asking her to think. You're asking her to feel, to revisit the moments when her body betrayed, her intentions when her fingers fidgeted, her breath caught, her gaze slipped. That's what makes this question powerful. It pulls her out of her rehearsed answers and into real recollection. Attraction has its own language, the kind that shows up before permission is granted. A subtle shift in posture, eyes darting too quickly, or lingering just a second too long, hands brushing through her hair, her voice softening mid-sentence, because the female body, just like yours, reacts before the mind approves. Even when she doesn't want to feel drawn to you, her body may already be revealing it. And here's the key. This question isn't about decoding her. It's about creating self-awareness. You're not asking to gain an advantage. You're asking because you want to know her in a way most men don't even notice. A Stoic man doesn't pursue these signs. He doesn't point them out or brag about them. He watches quietly. He holds space. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul." This moment is your test to live that truth. If she answers with, "He blinked more," or "My breathing changes," she's revealing something tender without ever saying the word vulnerable. If she says she crosses her arms or avoids eye contact, what she's really saying is, "My body leans in, but my mind resists." Why? Because she's been hurt, because she's trying to maintain control, because she's testing whether you'll rush in or hold your frame. One woman told me she plays with her necklace when she's nervous around someone she secretly likes. It seems innocent, but for her, it's a shield, something to anchor herself while emotions rise underneath. The Stoic man notices, but he doesn't name it. He lets her body speak, and he listens with presence, not pressure. That's what makes her feel truly seen. Not exposed, not analyzed, just understood. And here's what most men miss. Attraction isn't about making her feel something. It's about being composed enough when she already does. The more grounded you are in that moment, the more magnetic you become. Because self-control, not charm, is what turns tension into desire. If you've ever seen her body say yes while her words try to say no, comment below. I trust what I see. Question number 4. What is your most secret weakness? Not the one you post about. Not the one you joke about to deflect. The one that only someone truly close would ever see. This isn't small talk. This isn't flirtation dressed as curiosity. This is a confrontation, not of her, but of her mask. Because every woman, no matter how confident, independent, or untouchable, has a part of her she protects like sacred ground. It's not manipulation. It's survival. The world has taught her to hide her softness, to weaponize indifference, to armor up. So when you ask this question calmly, directly, without smirking, without pressure, without fear. You're telling her something rare. You're not afraid of what she hides. You're not chasing the highlight reel. You're inviting her truth. Most men ask what she wants in a guy, what her favorite music is, what she does for fun, but very few ever ask, what is the weakness you've never named out loud? That's why this question cuts deep, because it bypasses her filters, her practiced charm, and touches the one place she's afraid to reveal. Her answer may come slow. It might be emotional. I sabotage love when I feel too seen. It might be physical. My body gives away my feelings before I'm ready. Or even spiritual. I want to connect, but I'm scared it'll consume me. Whatever she shares, don't interrupt. Don't validate too quickly. Don't turn the spotlight to yourself. Just hold the silence. Let your energy speak what words can't. In Stoicism, Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This moment is where that wisdom becomes alive. Because when she tells you this, she's not asking for pity. She's testing your gravity. She's testing if you'll hold her storm or use it against her later. A woman's deepest weakness is rarely a wound. It's what she gives to the wrong people. Loyalty that isn't returned, hope that keeps breaking, silence that protects peace but costs her voice. So don't try to fix it. Don't poke at it. Don't make it poetic. Just thank her, hold her gaze, and then let it go. You've already done more than any man before. Not because you unlocked her, but because you didn't flinch when she did. This is how a Stoic man becomes unforgettable, not through bravado, but through presence. So the next time the moment feels right, ask it. Then watch how her body stiffens, how her eyes search yours for safety. If she answers, even just a little, know this: you've already stepped into a space very few men are ever allowed to enter. And if you've ever held space for a woman's softness without needing to control it, comment below. I make her feel safe. Question number 5. What does a man do that makes you feel in danger, yet you still want him more? This isn't a soft question. It doesn't live in the land of surface-level attraction. It walks the edge between fear and fascination. And if you ask it without flinching, you're no longer the nice guy. You're the man who dares to touch the raw, unfiltered side of her desire. Because here's a truth few men ever realize. Many women are drawn to a kind of danger that isn't physical, but psychological. A man who doesn't chase, who doesn't apologize for his presence, who's calm, but not soft, kind, but never passive, unshaken by her tests, and completely willing to walk away the moment she disrespects his standards. That kind of man doesn't offer comfort. He offers reality. And reality, when it's rooted in masculine clarity, doesn't feel safe in the way society has taught her to expect. It feels electric. So when you ask her, what makes you feel in danger, yet still want him more, you're not just asking about men. You're asking her to admit something she rarely says aloud, that the men who leave the deepest imprint aren't the ones who beg for love. They're the ones who hold stillness like fire. She might say something like, when he holds eye contact without smiling, or when he doesn't need to explain himself, he just is, or even when he doesn't ask for permission to lead, he simply leads. What she's really saying is this: he awakens something ancient in me. Not fear of being hurt, but fear of being seen. And this is where Stoicism becomes magnetic. The man who carries emotional discipline, who doesn't spill his energy everywhere. He creates tension without effort. not because he's trying to dominate, but because he's fully centered. His silence isn't avoidance, it's power. Now imagine this in real life. She's at a party. Your eyes meet hers. You don't break the stare. You don't approach. You just exist, rooted. And for the first time in a long time, she's not in control of the moment. And that's what pulls her in. So when she answers this question, don't interrupt. Don't joke. Don't offer advice. Just listen. Because she's not describing just some past lover. She might be describing the version of you that she's still hoping will finally show up. If you've ever made a woman feel pulled toward you, not through charm, but through your unshakable calm, drop a comment below, I hold the tension. And if that stirred something inside you, wait until you hear what her body reveals when her mouth says nothing. That's where the real truth begins. Question number 6. What is the craziest thing you would do if no one ever knew it was you? This isn't a question for laughs. It's not for shock value. It's a mirror. And most women don't even realize they've been waiting to look into it. You see, every woman walks the world with layers. The layer society told her to wear, the one that says be good, be quiet, don't want too much, don't scare them, don't be too wild. But underneath all of that, there's someone else, someone unfiltered, unapologetic, curious, dangerous. When you ask her this question, with no smirk, no sarcasm, you're giving her permission to let that part out, the part that rarely sees daylight. You're not asking about fantasy. You're asking about freedom. Who would she be if no one was watching? What would she do if judgment disappeared, if shame had no power, if she wasn't afraid to lose control? This question bypasses performance. It goes straight to desire. And when you hold the space, when you don't react, don't laugh, don't interrupt you, send her a signal. I can handle you. All of you. That's rare. Because most men only chase the version of her that's safe, polished, predictable. But not you. You're asking to see the version she hides from the world. And if she trusts you enough to answer, even if she just hints at it, you're already in territory no one else has touched. She might say, I'd disappear to another city and become someone else for a night. Or I'd seduce someone without saying a word, just eyes, just energy. Or I'd break every rule I made to feel something that reminds me I'm still alive. And here's where Stoic masculinity matters. You don't flinch. You don't sexualize it. You don't try to match it. You just listen. Like a mountain listens to the storm. Because this isn't about conquest. It's about depth, the ability to witness her without trying to shape her. And when she feels that, when she sees that you're not afraid of her wildness, you're not intimidated by her cravings, you're not shocked by her shadows, that's when something shifts. She starts to crave you back, not because of what you say, but because of what you can hold. So, the next time the moment is right, late at night, soft music, maybe even silence, ask it, calmly, clearly, what's the craziest thing you'd do if no one ever knew it was you? And then, wait. Let the silence do what your words cannot. If you're the kind of man who can hold her truth, drop a comment below, I let her be free. And stay tuned, because in the next question, we're going deeper into the edge between danger and desire. You don't want to miss that. Question number 7. How do you behave when you start falling for someone, but you don't want to admit it? This isn't a casual question. It's a mirror, and most women aren't ready to look into it. Because falling for someone when you're not ready to say it out loud, that's war. Not between two people, but inside one person. And here's what most men miss. Women fight this battle silently, subtly, and skillfully. They pull back just enough to seem distant, but not enough to actually let go. They tease, laugh things off, joke about how you wish they liked you, all while remembering every little thing you said 3 weeks ago. They'll act like your presence means nothing, while their body language betrays them, leaning in, lingering longer, smiling softer. She might send you the "just saw this" and thought of you meme at midnight. She might casually reply late, but always reply. She might talk about other guys not because she wants you to be jealous, but to see if you're steady. When you ask this question, calmly, without pressure or agenda, you break through the defense. You're not calling her out. You're calling her in, into her own awareness, into the place she keeps guarded from most men. And here's the shift. She'll laugh. Almost every time. Not because it's funny, but because it's true. She knows you see it. You've caught her. Gently. And in that moment, you're not like the others. You're not rushing to expose her. You're not teasing her back. You're holding the space. That's the Stoic advantage. You're composed. You don't overreact to the signal. You simply observe it. And that calm presence, it feels safer than 1,000 compliments. Most guys see her softness and rush in. But a Stoic man, he lets it bloom. Slowly, on its own terms, so the next time she says, "Oh, I just get cold or sarcastic," don't correct her. Don't chase. Just nod. Let her feel what she just revealed. And if you're the kind of man who doesn't just hear her words but sees her struggle behind them, then comment, "Right now I read between the lines," because in the next question, we'll step into the most forbidden space of all, where she wants to be claimed, but would never dare to say it. You won't want to miss it. Question number 8. What left the biggest mark on you from a man, even if he's no longer in your life? This isn't about names. It's not about drama or old relationships. It's about the echo that lingers, the feeling she can't quite shake, even if the man who caused it is long gone. Every woman carries a scar, a softness, a memory that left a dent on her emotional blueprint. And when you ask this question with calm stillness, not jealousy, not curiosity, you do what most men never attempt. You invite her into her own memory, not to relive pain, but to reflect on what truly touched her. Because every woman has one man. Maybe it wasn't love. Maybe it was chaos. But he left a mark she didn't expect to carry this far. It might have been the way he looked at her after a fight, the way he held her when she was falling apart, or maybe it was what he didn't do, the silence, the distance, the things left unsaid. But when she answers, don't just hear the story. Hear the emotion beneath it. That's where her truth lives. Most men avoid this moment. They're too afraid to hear about another man's imprint. But a Stoic man, he isn't shaken by the past. He sees it as a roadmap to understanding her present. Some men leave bruises, some leave longing, and a rare few leave gravity, the kind that pulls at her even when she's moved on. If you can hold space for that truth, without trying to fix it or fight it, you earn her trust at a level most men never reach. And when you do, you don't just understand what happened. You understand what moves her. If you're the kind of man who isn't afraid of emotional depth, comment below, "I leave marks," and stay tuned. Because the next question doesn't reveal her past. It awakens the secret future she's never dared to speak. What she says next will change the way she looks at you forever. Question number 9. Have you ever felt drawn to someone, and you couldn't explain why not, because of how they looked, not because of what they said, but something deeper? A vibe, a presence, like gravity. This isn't just a casual question, it's a mirror held up to something every woman has felt, but rarely puts into words. Sometimes she meets a man, and on paper, he's nothing special. He's not her type, doesn't tick the usual boxes, but he lingers in her mind. Why? Because attraction isn't always logical. It doesn't follow rules. It bypasses the checklist and speaks to something unspoken. And when you ask her this question calmly, without pressure, you give her permission to explore that mystery out loud. She might say, "I don't know what it was about him. He just had this energy." And now you've taken the conversation to a deeper level. You're not just a man talking, you're a man listening to the parts of her that don't often get to speak. That's power. That's emotional leadership. Because the man she couldn't explain, he wasn't loud. He wasn't flashy. He was grounded, stoic, unbothered. And if you can hold that kind of presence while she remembers someone who made her feel that way, you'll slowly become the new imprint. Now, if you're the kind of man who knows how to pull without trying, comment this below. I attract without chasing, because in the next question, we're no longer talking about mystery, we're stepping straight into raw desire. Question number 10. If someone could understand you without you having to explain anything, what place would they have in your life? If someone could look at you and just know without you needing to speak, explain, or defend, what role would they hold in your life? This isn't a surface question. It cuts past charm, games, and conversation. Because every woman, no matter how strong, secretly longs for that rare presence, the one who sees her, not just looks, who reads her silence better than others read her words, who senses the shift in her tone before she's even aware of it, who doesn't interrupt her stillness but joins it. And when that kind of man appears, he doesn't become just another chapter, he becomes a sanctuary. Most people are exhausted from over-explaining, so when someone finally comes along who gets it, who understands without being told, it's not just comforting, it's transformative. He doesn't fix, he holds, he doesn't ask for more. He honors what's already there. That kind of presence isn't just remembered, it's felt, long after he's gone. So, you made it to the end. That means you already understand something most men never grasp. Attraction isn't just about looks, money, or clever words. It's about perception, the ability to see what others don't, to feel what others ignore, to ask what others avoid. These 10 questions weren't crafted to impress her. They were designed to unlock her, to reach the part of her most men never even notice. Because when you ask with presence, when you listen without flinching, you don't just become attractive, you become unforgettable. Not because you said the right thing, but because you created the space for her to reveal the truth. And that kind of space, it's rare. You're not here to play games. You're here to master yourself, to connect, to challenge, to stir something deeper without needing to perform. If you've come this far, you're not chasing noise, you're moving with precision. And that mindset, that calm, grounded masculinity, is exactly what sets you apart. So, if you're ready to keep sharpening your edge, if you want to go beyond the surface and lead with depth, join us at the Stoic Spirit. Subscribe for more tools that train your mind, strengthen your frame, and help you navigate life and relationships on your terms. We're just getting started. And the next video, it might not just change how you talk to women, it might change how you see yourself.